we're shooting late at night. Everyone's exhausted. We're in Nevada. We're like running on God knows what our number of hours were on that day, and we're doing a stunt where a guy's jumping, 9 stories off of the top of a building into. It was tricky because it was an alley, a narrow alley, and so you could only put so big a bag at the bottom, right? Because there's just not enough room for the type of bag you might normally need for that height. Like again, you can't think of all the logistics you have to go through in these types of situations. So he had to hit a pretty small target, and they wanted to do it. They wanted to do it once so that he could just rehearse it, like just without, I guess, acting. I don't know. I was like, can't we just shoot the rehearsal? Like, no, we want to do one just to make sure it's all going to work and everything. I mean, I don't know what you do when it doesn't work on the rehearsal.
Yeah,
But,
no kidding.
but
Next actor, please.
yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
So we ran it one time. It went pretty smoothly, but then we were starting to run out of time. And
I want to iterate once more. How many stories?
9 stories.
9 stories off of
Yeah, it
Planet
was
Hollywood.
jumping off the parking garage. And we had 5 cameras running, and it was all being shot on film. This is the olden days. We were shooting 35 millimeter film. We shot Atlantis on digital, but we had decided to shoot film down there. It had to do with cameras and accessibility and really how we were going to get our footage back, process it down there, and get it up north. We ended up going with 35. I think DPs always love a good reason to shoot 35 millimeter film. It's like,
it looks great.
Logistically, maybe it would have worked to have our digital cameras down there, but at the end of the day, we decided we'll shoot 35. We had five or six cameras rolling. Crew that we weren't all that used to. We were able to bring some people down, but this was a local crew we were using. And the stunt goes off amazing, like just amazing. It looks great. And I remember looking over to the A camera operator, and he comes out from under his little hood there next to it. And I like look at him and I'm like, and he's like this. He's like, yeah, it's good. It's good. And we get back to Vancouver, and I think it was a day or two later. I remember Carrie McDowell, our post supervisor, comes up to me with this look of pure white terror on her face and says, "You know the stunt?" And I said, "Yeah." She says, "We didn't get the A camera." I said, "What do you mean we didn't get the A camera?" She says, "They don't know what happened, but the film ran out." And I said, "How in the world?" Like, you have to understand that a 35 millimeter camera has tremendous amount of insulation around it, because it's almost impossible not to hear the mag. Like, it's just this noisy thing that's happening as the film runs through the camera.
Weren't you filming at twice speed too on A camera?
I think so.
So it's ultra loud on top of it.
Ultra loud. So this guy literally is under a hood, has his ear up against the film camera, and he didn't hear that it had run out for some reason.
Or not my problem.
Yeah,
see ya.
Exactly. Time to punch out. We're already 2 hours of overtime. So the shot you see, fortunately, we had a second hero camera that is really not bad. And obviously the other cameras were rolling. But it wasn't the one that was the hero, right. The hero shot in the show. But those are just, that's just the sort of, in a feature, you probably go back and reshoot it, or having at least had the opportunity to wait at the location until your film gets developed to make sure you have the footage you went all that way and spent all that money to get.
And the stunt guy risked his life for.
Yeah, exactly.
James Bamford was pissed when he told this story. It was like, at least he's putting his life on the line, guys. At least film it. At least you can do is shoot it if he dies.
exactly.
So,
Well,
geez.
we have some coverage of it.
Well, yeah,
But
but you don't
yeah,
get the impression that it's as grand as it is. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's one of those where you listen to the commentary and it's like, so let me just tell you how good this really is. And it's
was
like,
supposed to be. Yeah.
right, it's like finding out that Corin Nimick, did his underwater sequence in one breath. It's like because, the camera they had to cut because of certain things on the screen. It's like, wow, was this episode what did you hit the budget that you wanted to hit for it, or were there
Yeah,
some
yeah.
things
I
that
mean,
when you
look,
got done that you couldn't
we had
do?
an overage
Okay,
the overage was approved, and we
got it.
did it in that number. And I know Charlie was real happy about his cameo. Um,
He looks
and
great.
yeah.
And
And
Joel's great, and I mean, I keep forgetting the name of the two actors because I'm not into that genre, but the dialogue about the finger, I mean, that was just funny.
yeah. It's
How do you lose a finger?
it was kind of a thrill to work with those guys too from The Sopranos. Steve
Wow.
Sciarretta was one of them, and it's 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 one of my favorites. I, I got to do stuff, the kind of stuff I'm not sure I'll ever get to do again, where I can just basically say this is something I've always dreamed of doing, and then I get to go out and do it. I'd love to shoot a show where high stakes poker game between our hero and an alien, and two real
an alien
poker
that can read
players and a couple of
minds.
guys from The Sopranos.
Correct.
And then I want one of them to jump off a roof, and you know it was more fun than I deserved.
Hey, your circus, your monkeys.
Yeah.
You can pull that off. The technical achievements of Atlantis, in addition to everything else that you guys did. The one irritation for me about modern digital, and this is a conversation that Bruce Woloshin and I had talked about before Atlantis was even really started. The nice thing about film is you can tune explosions so you get all the color out of it, and with digital, it's yellow and white, and what you film is what you get, and Atlantis had a lot of the more practical explosions on the show, and with digital, it only looks so good. What you shoot is what you
Our
got.
digital was like that was the early
Yeah.
years of adoption, and the first. Actually, forgive me, I don't remember what season we switched over, but I think it was the first 2 years of Atlantis were shot on not even full HD cameras.
Okay.
Like the resolution was not very good. Like and I there are all kinds of things that obviously if I could go back and do it again, the
Right.
early days of Atlantis, the budget was shockingly small. Like the budget for SG1 was a little bigger, but that was just naturally because it had gone on for so long, and you just pay people more the longer the show goes. So the actual salaries were higher for crew and everyone across the board. But Atlantis was a real challenge, particularly in the first year. Once it kind of got its legs and people saw it was doing well, we got a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, there are lots of things I would love to have, done differently.
I remember being there with you guys for season 2, and you had talked about season 1 where it's like, we're supposed to be in this grand city and there's just walls, can't I have a window? Can't I see something? Build a model out there or something, put a curtain over it.
Did the ancients not have furniture, or did they not sit down?
Thank you for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving us a thumbs up with that like button. It will encourage the algorithm to show this to other Stargate fans. Also, please consider sending this to a fellow Stargate friend. I also want to invite you to subscribe to future episodes right here on YouTube. We are a live show, so changes are likely to happen all the time. And if you plan on joining us live, you'll want to be the first to know. Be sure to visit dialthegate.com for the complete guest schedule so you'll know when to join us and ask your very own questions to our guests. See you on the other side.